video presentation of Team Halongkayat Kids. So let's dive in the difference between the incandescent bulb versus Firefly electric bulb or LED in terms of battery life and brightness with same accumulator condition. Lighting the way, we're diving into the ultimate showdown of incandescent versus Firefly LED bulbs, focusing on battery life and brightness with same accumulator condition. The goal is to prove that LEDs are the smarter, greener pick for a sustainable future. So, what's the play? Number 1, evaluate battery life, LED versus incandescent. Number 2, clash of brightness, and who wins? Plus, we pick at safety, cost, and eco-impact. In today's world, sustainability is undeniably critical. We must minimize our environmental footprint. Over the past half century, global energy use has surged annually, though trends vary by region. Ricci et al. 2024 in the Philippines, data from DOE 2020 shows rising energy consumption, with lighting a major contributor in homes and businesses. Aligned with this, the government promotes the Energy Efficiency and Conservation Program. DOE 2020 local studies of Meralco 2019 confirmed that LEDs save energy and lighting accounts for a significant energy slice. Why LEDs? They use less energy, reducing environmental impact. Specifically, LEDs outperform others, but few studies compare ordinary incandescent, Firefly, and LED bulbs under the same battery condition. This study conducted a head-to-head comparison of incandescent bulb versus Firefly LEDs with battery life, brightness, safety, and affordability under identical battery conditions. 40 participants rated both bulbs with 5-point Likert scale. The result says that Firefly LEDs scored significantly higher of p-value less than 0.05 in all categories: battery life, safety, brightness, and affordability of long-term savings. Aligning with Smith et al. 2020, LEDs are energy efficient, and Jones et al. 2018 noted that their cost-effectiveness despite higher upfront costs. In short, LEDs boost performance, safety, sustainability, and a greener choice as society sweep eco-conscious by Brown et al. 2022. For research objectives, building on our earlier comparison, we evaluated incandescent versus Firefly LED bulbs across 4 key areas. The incandescent bulb scored as follows: the brightness, decent but limited; safety, carries a heat risk alert; battery life, has a short lifespan; and for the price, cheaper upfront, cost lighter in the long run. The Firefly LED bulbs perform this way: for the brightness, sharp and crisp; safety, cooler with a safer profile; battery life, a long-lasting option; price, higher initial cost but saves significantly later. In summary, the incandescent bulb has moderate brightness, heat risk, short life, and low initial cost, while the Firefly LED bulb is bright, safe, long-lasting, and cost-efficient. Significance of the study of incandescent versus Firefly LED bulbs, battery life and brightness with same power condition holds valuable implication for several stakeholders, like students will gain hands-on insight into energy efficiency, enriching their project and research. The community stands to benefit for heightened awareness, promoting sustainable practices and reduce energy consumption. For administrators, particularly in school, can leverage these findings to adopt LED lighting, cutting costs and minimizing environmental impact. And lastly, future researchers will find this a foundational springboard for exploring eco-friendly lighting innovation. In short, this study encouraged smarter energy choices, greener living, and sparked further curiosity. This chapter outlines the research methodology to fit the study's objective. For the study design, a comparative experimental design tests incandescent versus firefly LED bulbs with brightness, battery life, and same accumulator condition. While the population sampling is not applicable by comparing bulbs under identical condition. Research instrument, we use a lux meter, thermometer, and timer to measure brightness, safety, and duration. Data gathering procedure, observe experiment with 10 circuits, record data, code bulbs for analysis. And last, the data analysis or the statistical treatment, use descriptive or inferential tests, t-tests or Mann-Whitney U, report effect sizes. Additionally, the hypothesis HO for no difference and H1 for significant difference in brightness and battery life with p-value less than 0.05.
For our research design, this study concludes a research design which is true experimental design, but more contained into a comparative experimental design. Firefly LED bulbs and incandescent bulb being compared and observed, and brightness and battery life will be collected under the same accumulator conditions. The comparison of two types of bulbs collected and will seek to determine whether the differences in terms of brightness, battery life, and the performance, which is significant for both types of lighting. Population and sampling. The population and sampling for this study will be not applicable, since the research looks and differences in terms of brightness and battery life of these two groups, which is the firefly LED bulbs and incandescent bulb under the same accumulator conditions. For our research local, this study will be conducted at Lusaka National High School, which is located in Chaong, Quezon, because it provides an ideal type of setting for controlled experiments. The laboratory and classrooms must be served as a setting for testing grounds and experimentation. For our research instruments, this research study focuses in the research instruments contain the following. The lux meter, which is to measure the brightness for both two groups being compared, named the incandescent bulb and the firefly LED bulbs. And also the multimeter, which is somehow measure the battery life of incandescent bulb and firefly LED bulbs. For our data gathering procedure, the researchers gathered data by doing so first the so-called observation, which is the group will be observing the effectiveness of incandescent bulb and firefly LED bulbs. The second is the power consumption analysis. This example of data gathering procedure is all about how the group will use the recorded voltage and current data in order to calculate the power consumptions of the two groups. Third is the experimentation or experiment. In here, the group will be assemble 10 identical test circuits, which are known as the accumulator, bulb holder, switches, and the digital multimeter or the DMM. It is to measure the current series and voltage across the bulb. Fourth is the record of data, which is to write all the results and be recorded of comparison for both types of bulbs. Lastly, the data collection. It is somehow all about how the two types of bulbs will be coded and set up for the future statistical analysis. Lastly, the data analysis or the statistical treatment. For our data analysis or statistical treatment, the researchers will be evaluating using descriptive and inferential statistics. It is to determine if there are any differences to these two types of bulbs.
Chapter 4: Results and Discussion. This study compared the incandescent bulb and the Firefly LED bulb using the same battery. The bulbs were rated based on the brightness, safety, battery life, and price. Descriptive statistics, Table 1. The results showed the Firefly LED performed better in all four areas. Brightness, the LED was brighter. For safety, it was safer since it doesn't heat up like the incandescent bulb. For battery life, it lasted longer before the battery ran out. In price, even though LEDs cost more at first, people saw them as more affordable overall because they save energy and last longer. Paired t-test results, Table 2. The test shows that all differences were significant, meaning they are real and not just by chance. The Firefly LED was significantly better than the incandescent bulb in brightness, safety, battery life, and price. Discussion. Overall, the Firefly LED bulb is better than the incandescent bulb in every category. LEDs use less power, shine brighter, and are safer because they don't get too hot. They also help batteries last longer and more eco-friendly. Even though they cost more to buy, they save money in the long run. This means Firefly LED bulbs are better and more practical choice for both safety and energy saving.
For Chapter 5, this research evaluated the performance of incandescent bulb and Firefly electric bulb or LED under identical battery conditions. The researcher assessed the bulbs based on brightness, safety, battery life, and price using a 5-point Likert scale. Significantly, the data indicated the Firefly LED bulb received a higher rating, 1.82 points higher in battery life, demonstrating improved efficacy. Furthermore, Firefly electric bulb or LED is also rated 1.33 higher than the incandescent bulb in safety, primarily due to lower temperature and heat generation. Although Firefly electric bulb or LED initially cost more than incandescent bulb, researchers perceived the higher cost as justified. This is because they are more cost effective due to reduced energy consumption and a lower lifespan. Overall, Firefly electric bulb or LED receive higher rating in brightness, safety, battery life, and cost compared to incandescent bulb. For conclusion, this study highlights the distinct advantages of Firefly electric bulb or LED over incandescent bulb, assessing brightness, safety, battery life, and price. Furthermore, this finding align with existing research on energy efficiency and sustainability. Although incandescent bulb may have a lower initial cost, LEDs offer long-term saving through reduced energy consumption and extended lifespan. Therefore, considering cost, safety, and energy savings, the study concludes that Firefly electric bulb or LED are superior, providing better overall lighting. Lastly, the recommendation. For students, switch to Firefly electric bulb or LED for study lamp. Benefit from improved battery life, enhanced power efficiency, and reduced heat, making studying safer and more effective. Understand the long-term benefits. Recognize the potential long-term saving and environmental advantages of using LEDs for responsible and sustainable consumption. For community, promote LED usage. Encourage the use of Firefly electric bulb or LED in both personal and public spaces to reduce energy consumption. Develop local government program to motivate the community to switch from incandescent bulb to LED, demonstrating reduced carbon footprints. Create campaigns to educate the public about the safety of existing lighting system and the cost-effective alternatives available. For administrators, transition to Firefly LED lighting system. Switch to Firefly LED lighting in school and university facilities to reduce future energy, heating, and maintenance costs. Demonstrate environmental responsibility. Improve customer perception by showcasing the use of Firefly products in school lighting system, highlighting responsible environmental management. Future researcher. Assess long-term environmental impacts. Focus on long-term environment assessment of LED production and disposal, including recycling and reuse programs. Support further studies, conduct additional research on the performance of LEDs designed, fabricated, marketed, and utilized by Firefly to improve and resolve the LED paradigm.
Once
Once
again,
again, we
we
are
are
the
the
Team
Team
Halong
Halong
Kayat
Kayat
Kids.
Kids.
That's
That's
all.
all.
Thank
Thank you.
you.